One day, Sir Topham Hatt had a special job for Thomas. Thomas, I need you to help Rusty at the wharf today. Thomas was very excited. The wharf could be very busy, Thomas, said Percy. So what makes you special about helping your friend Rusty? But Thomas wasn't sure what Percy had said. So he steamed quickly away. Thomas was very excited. Working in the wharf was the funnest job of all. I can't wait to work with Rusty, Thomas said to himself. Soon Thomas arrived at the wharf. He felt very pleased of himself. Rusty was waiting happily as Thomas pulled up alongside. Hello, Rusty, whistled Thomas. Hello, Thomas, said Rusty. I'm glad you're visiting the wharf today. And I'm glad too, said Thomas. How about I listen to a story before we go to work? A story, said Rusty. What story do you want me to tell you? Thomas wasn't sure. Well then, said Rusty, I'm going to tell you a story about Skarloey working on the hillsides. But where's he now? Asked Thomas. You'll know, said Rusty, and then he did. One day, Skarloey was on his way to the quarry. But when he tried to go to the hill, he found it steeper than ever. So Skarloey made a decision. Maybe I would puff fast up the hill, said Skarloey. So Skarloey picked up speed and he charged up the hill. Skarloey knew that fast engines are much faster to get up the hill, but he wouldn't give up. But the troublesome trucks have a chance for mischief. Hold back, they giggled. But Skarloey wouldn't get a grip. Must keep going, he groaned. Skarloey fought for control, but he wouldn't go. But then, suddenly, they snapped. Catch us if you can, Skarloey, they giggled. But Peter Sam was waiting on the bottom of the hill. The sleigh cars came rushing down the hill. Peter Sam noticed, but suddenly, the freight cars rolled gently to a stop. When Skarloey reversed, he was lucky that Peter Sam had stopped the runaway freight cars on time. You were lucky, Skarloey, said Peter Sam. Otherwise, the freight cars would have crashed into me. Thank you, Peter Sam, said Skarloey. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll be on my way to the wharf. Thomas and Rusty will be waiting for me. As if, said Peter Sam, nothing would happen. So Skarloey puffed happily up the hill. Now Skarloey was making sure that he would get his deliveries right on schedule. Thank goodness Peter Sam saved the runaway train, Skarloey said happily. That was lucky for Peter Sam, said Thomas. Otherwise, the freight cars would have crashed into him. "You're right, Thomas," said Rusty. However, Skarloey did the trick on time. Soon, James arrived to pick up freight cars. He was surprised to see Thomas at the wharf. "Hello, Thomas," whistled James. Now Thomas wanted to talk to James, so he puffed away. Thomas wanted to tell James about Rusty's story. "It was about Skarloey," said Thomas. "Rusty told me all about him." "That's nice," James said happily. "So I heard that story when I was approaching the wharf." Thomas chuckled. "Thanks, James," said Thomas. "You're a really useful engine, Thomas," said James. "Now let's get back to work." So, Thomas and James went happily back to work.